And when you're painting and drawing with this brush, you need to start to load your paint up this way. You're taking a flat brush, not a filbert. A filbert has got a rounded shape, as opposed to as a pair to the flat. So instead of loading the brush this way, we're going to load it this way. So you've got a bead of paint along the tip of the brush. Then you turn the brush over, and now that first stroke you can't push very hard because you've got all that fresh paint there. I've got my little fingernail to work here in the paint as a buffer, and I line up the tip and just make these simple pulls like this. Now at this point, look how much thicker the paint is there than it is here. Instead of pushing harder and losing control, which is where people go, I wipe the brush, scoop it up, and do it again. As soon as I wipe the brush, scoop it up, and I'm real careful to make sure I've got, see there was that crud on the end of that brush there, so I'm going to scoop in this way, so I've got a bead of paint along that edge. I flip it over, and then I'll make these marks this way. And those first few marks are easy because there's all that wet paint. You see how light? There's still a nice bead of paint there. And look what happens. Look at how clean this edge is and how ragged it is there. It's ragged here because I'm running out of paint and I'm still painting. So I get that ragged edge. And then Nancy, you come back and clean up the edge. What you're doing is taking too little butter and spreading it over the English muffin. You got to use enough butter to make that. And as soon as it starts to get ragged, you wipe the brush, keep that tip as sharp as you can, and that's your barometer. Look how thin that brush tip is. That's the skill that you need. So let's assume